Hi everyone, welcome to quite a windy, blustery Corsica where we're here for the launch of the all-new Jaguar E-Pace. Now this is an all-new compact SUV from the premium British car brand, and they're going for a youthful, dynamic, eager sort of image with this car. That's hence we have the mummy and baby graphic on the windscreen. But this is a car that's basically, they're trying to get a whole new type of buyer to the Jaguar brand. In fact, they're hoping for 80% of buyers of this car to be new to the Jaguar brand. For our market, we're going to get this with the new Ingenium engines. We're getting a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. We're going to start with a 250 brake horsepower, and later it's going to be joined by a 300 horsepower engine. The 250 horsepower engine will do a 0 to 100 in I think 7 seconds with a 230 kilometer per hour top speed. Now, the price is starting from 161,000 dirhams, which is $64,000, and going all the way up to 245,000 dirhams, which is $67,000. They'll all be mated to a 9-speed ZF automatic, and they have all-wheel drive, of course, but they have what's known as active driveline, which is basically a system that allows the car to go from front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive and anything in between, and even able to distribute torque individually between the four wheels for better road holding and better grip. The 300 brake horsepower engine, which will also have 295 pounds of torque, will do 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, and like I said, that's also going to be mated to the 9-speed gearbox. It's a good looking thing with a very pronounced grille and these sort of claw-like motif that you see in the headlights. It's got a coupe-like profile despite its kind of shorter, stubby bodywork, quite an upright little car. It's less than 4.4 meters long. And at the rear, it's got very slim tail lights, and they've resisted the temptation to go for that little round blob in the tail lights like some other Jaguars do. Overall, quite a good looking thing, and definitely better than, for example, a Land Rover version. Let's take a closer look at the car and start with its practicality. Okay, so we can open this boot by the key, by doing the kick thing, or we can just press the button under here. This also has one of those leisure key things, for example, where you can lock the key and all your valuables inside and then just use the strap to come and open the boot when you're coming back from the seaside or whatever it is that you're doing. It's a fairly wide boot, quite a high loading area, so don't carry too much in here, although you can use extra space just by dropping the seats down. It is a 60/40 split folding. There's a net in here. Under the floor is just a spare tire, so really not a lot there. There's a couple of nets here. There's 2 hooks and power supplies. Reasonably practical for this size of car, but we're looking more sort of hatchback type of boot space rather than SUV type. Wonder what the rear space is going to be like. Time to try that out. So it's got quite a low roof on this, quite a bit of a coupe profile, so I was a little bit concerned about whether or not I can even get in. But it seems that I can, and this seat is actually set for me, so it is in my position. So actually that's not too bad at all. I've got space for my feet, I've got space for my knees. It's not that I can't exactly stretch out, but it's not too bad. There's something here that's just jarring my shins a little bit here, but otherwise it's not too bad. Back here you have 1, 2, 3 USBs, you know how much I love those. 2 AC vents here and heated seats. I don't know if we get those in our market. A little tray down here, and over here you have an armrest with 2 cup holders in there as well. These are adjustable as well, and actually headroom's pretty good despite the full-length sunroof that we've got in here. So not bad at all, actually quite comfortable, certainly for kids and the regular size adults it'll be fine. Time to see what the front is like. So here we are in the front, nice and comfortable up here, no problems at all. Let's start it up. Get the steering wheel straight. Now you can see, you know, a lot of screens in this thing. It hasn't gone quite the Range Rover Velar route of just having screens down here, but we get quite a large 10-inch screen here. That's a 12-inch screen over there. And this one is capacitive and touchscreen, so you can do all of that. And you can do various things like go into dynamic mode, in which you can actually set up how you want the dynamic mode configured in terms of the steering, the engine, and the gear shifting. You can even do things like look at the throttle versus the brake. I've got pressure applied on the brake pedal, so you can see that there. You've got a G meter, and you've even got a lap timer. I don't know why you need that in an SUV, but you've got a lap timer. And then you've got Bluetooth and stereo and all the rest of it. By the way, this has got an 825 watt, 15 speaker Meridian sound system, so that's pretty cool. 9-speed ZF transmission with paddle shifts, as you can see. climate control, and here at the front we've got a cubby box, and in the cubby box we've also got 2 USBs, an SD card and a 12-volt power supply. Quite a lot of space in here as well, and it's configurable because you can do stuff like, you know, take that off to give you cup holders, or just take the whole cup holder thing out altogether. So there you go. So a lot of stuff you can do. Quite nice in here. It's got quite thick A-pillars, I've noticed, so when you're hurling it around some little corners and stuff like that, that's a bit of a blind spot, but other than that, it's not really a problem. Good headroom and good visibility all around. I think the next thing to do is take it for a little drive. So let's take it for a little drive, start it up. Once I start it up, the whole screen comes alive and everything comes on. I think the stereo is on there. So it's one of those electronic shifters, so it stays in one position and it just sort of goes forward and back on a sort of rollerball sort of thing. So let's take it for a little run. So this car has all-terrain system, but it doesn't have that knob thing. It's all built into the actual monitor thing, so you can go in there and select it. But more interestingly, it's got this active driveline system, which basically can vary the torque between a front-wheel drive and a rear-wheel drive, and even between the individual wheels themselves to give it, you know, better road holding and grip. And in fact, they're going for quite a sporty feel with this car, as you can see. I mean, we're straight up to speed. I'm going to stick it into dynamic mode, and in dynamic mode you can actually configure individually the steering, the throttle and the gear shift. But I've been throwing this around a few roads, and it is remarkable just how stable the body is and how well that active driveline thing works. I could do with a little bit more feel and heft from the steering, and I think that's probably the only thing that will put me off a little bit in terms of the sheer sportiness of it. But if you think of it in a logical sense, and you think of the fact that this is essentially a compact SUV for around town stuff, the fact that we've been driving it as hard as we have on some of the roads that we've been doing it on is actually quite incredible. So on the go, visibility generally is all good. The only trouble I have is with this A-pillar over here, which is a little bit thick. But the thing is, the way it's structured is that it's not thick this way, it's sort of thick this way, sort of in front of me. So if you're trying to cut apexes and stuff, it's sort of in your way. But other than that, I don't have any issues. Seating position is very good. I got good headroom, and good leg room is fine. Elbow room is no problem at all. Visibility out the back is not too bad because of the mirror. And of course, you do get the camera as well if you're going to be doing parking maneuvers and stuff like that. You can switch it across into sports mode and start using this paddle shifts. To be honest, I found that sports mode in itself was absolutely fine. It had no trouble at all. Basically, it's kind of intuitive and it knows what you need to do. But you can hold it in second and third gear. It will go down into second. But on some of those mountain roads, I found that really the ideal thing was to just leave it in third, and it was absolutely fine. The torque delivery is actually pretty good. Braking is fantastic, but we did find that coming downhill on that, we had a few moments where the brake pedal was feeling a little bit faded, but that's probably because I was hammering it a little bit hard. But overall, though, it's surprisingly good for what it is. You know, it has the power, it has the momentum. You know, this is the 250 horsepower. The 300 horsepower is the one that we're going to get later in our market. Quite frankly, considering that's this is 0 to 107 and that's 0 to 106.4, it took in 0.6 of a second. You're not really going to feel the difference, but you may feel a little bit more in terms of torque. But having said that, like I said, this is pretty torquey. Overall, I think it's a pretty good drive, and I think that if you're looking for a compact SUV that is stylish, fun, but also quite entertaining to drive, and actually sounds pretty good as well, then yeah, this is probably one to look at. So there you go, there's our review. I hope you liked us. Let us know what you think. Leave your comments below or elsewhere. And do please check us out, Motoring Middle East. Check us out on our website, motoringme.com, and of course all social media as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, then please do like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me. I'll put my handles up here as well. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next one.